Hello, one and all. Welcome to the A to the K Wrestling Show. Joining us today, fresh off a NWA Women's TV title match and absolutely killing it in Ring of Honor, the insanely talented Aleah James. Aleah, thank you for being here. How are you?
Of course, no worries. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, great, thank
Good,
you.
good.
Good.
And I'll thank you for being on. So we start. Obviously, you've been busy in Ring of Honor this year. Five matches already, I believe. I just wondered, sort of, how's that experience been for you so far?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun because you just go there and you don't really know whether you'll be used or like what to expect. So it's just been a nice surprise to be able to wrestle so many women on the roster and just learn from them and learn from the experience. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Amazing. You did finally get a chance to wrestle Marina Shafir as well. I know that was someone who was kind of high on your list. Obviously, you did it
Yeah.
in a mixed tag with a really Utah man like Doris. So, what was that whole experience like getting to get in the ring with her?
Yeah, that was crazy. So obviously in a few interviews, people have asked me who I've wanted to wrestle, and I have
Yeah,
always Arena. So in like to be able to do that on Ring of Honor as well is crazy. And it was a
yeah.
pleasant surprise being able to do it with a fellow British person, tackle on the Death Riders. But yeah, it was very surprising and we were both excited for the challenge. So I'm just glad that, we had fun and got the opportunity together.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. So obviously, you did wrestle for Ring of Honor last year in a great match with Athena. Um, so I just wanted to ask, sort of, what was it like wrestling her, and do you think that was perhaps the catalyst for you sort of getting more opportunities with the company?
It was a very fun match. It was very like I learned a lot from the experience, and I think whenever she wrestles anybody who is on the roster or extra work or anything like that, she always has a lot of respect for them and wants as much of a great match as the person she's in with. So that makes such a huge difference. And yeah, I do think maybe when I first came over to America, maybe a lot of fan bases or a lot of places hadn't heard of me. So hopefully that did help. I'm not sure the direct correlation, but I do feel like it would have helped in some
Yeah.
capacity. Sure.
No, definitely. I
Well,
mean, it was a great match. So, yeah, you can see why they would obviously be like, yeah, let's have you back. So, as we said in the intro as well, you recently challenged for the NWA Women's Television title against a friend of the show, Tiffany Neves. How cool was that experience? And like, obviously, how does it feel having wrestled for a company with like the lineage that NWA has?
Yeah, that was really cool. Tiffany's great. She's obviously a very nasty opponent in the ring, but it was a great it was a great day actually, and it was just cool to do different TV platforms and to experience what their like careers are like. So just being around them and seeing how they work TV and how they do all of the shows and stuff, and to be part of something that you've seen online or that you've known about from overseas. And I think that's usually a huge component when you're not from America and you know
Yeah.
of a lot of wrestling companies and a lot of other women's wrestlers, and then you somehow make your way there and you get to experience it. That's always a cool thing for someone from the UK.
yeah.
No, definitely.
I did just want to touch on another friend of the show, Mickie James. I believe she was a huge inspiration for you. And she's obviously recently entered into the TNA Hall of Fame. So I just wondered what your reaction is to that, considering the impact she's had on you.
Well, she deserves it definitely. She's been
Yeah,
an icon for so long, and it's about time that people start getting recognized for all of the all not just the hard work that they've put in, because that's individual to her and her career, but
yeah,
the way that she's inspired other people and younger people and next generations to be like her. And maybe I wouldn't have even wanted to be a wrestler if I didn't see her on TV. Like, you don't know the
yeah, of
direct
course.
impact
Yeah,
of that, but that definitely, I watched her and I watched other wrestlers as well, and it just made me want to do that. So she has inspired a lot of people, and probably a lot more than she realizes. So that was very cool to see her get recognition.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
So yeah,
absolutely. Hopefully WWE will do the same and follow
exactly.
suit
Yeah.
soon. So I believe you're based primarily in Florida now. So I'm curious, obviously being from Essex, kind of what's been the biggest kind of culture shock? Is there anything that you much prefer about being in the States versus some of the things you kind of maybe miss from back home?
I miss Lidl.
The bakery is bloody
Yeah,
good, isn't it?
it
Oh,
is
the
good. It
little
is good.
brownie, I
Yeah.
tell
We
you.
used to be able to walk to to the gym and then go to Lidl on my way back and get a white chocolate cookie and some pasta. So I miss that. But I definitely like the weather here because it's way warmer. And obviously at home you usually get summer for like 3 weeks or something, or like
Yeah.
sandwiched in with rain and clouds. So
Yeah, I
it's
think we
not.
only managed a week this year, to be fair.
Probably not
Yeah,
even that.
exactly. And that's when I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, it can be cold sometimes. Yeah, really
Do you
mainly
find
just the food that I miss, the good quality
yeah.
food that's not going to slowly kill me.
Yeah, so many E numbers. I was gonna ask, obviously being in Florida and stuff like that as well. Do you spend much time like in the park, like Disney and Universal and stuff, or do you just not have time for that with how busy you are?
We did go to a few at first, because I'd never actually been to America until the moment I moved there. So
Oh
I was
wow.
like, oh, Disney, oh, Universal. And we like have been to them a few times, but I recently went to SeaWorld again for the third time. That was fun. But
Nice. Yeah.
other than that, no, not really. Just mainly trying to like train and wrestle and stuff. And you don't ever really get to see the middle of the day when it's like really
Yeah,
hot,
yeah.
sunbathe or whatever. Don't
No.
really get that.
That's fair. So obviously, being in Florida, you've been doing a lot of work with CCW. And you've got a bit of a rivalry going on with Mila Moore,
Hmm.
with the latest match being a no DQ match as well. I just wondered how much fun are you having in CCW and working with Mila?
I'm not having any fun working with Mila.
Fair.
She's a thorn in my side. But promotion itself is very fun and it's local, so I don't have to go too far, which makes a difference. Because obviously at home, you get a train journey or maybe you get a long car ride, and by long, I mean like 3 hours. But
Yeah,
with here,
yeah.
it's like, oh, you have to wake up at 7 a.m. and fly somewhere. And I was just like, how does anybody do this? So it's nice. CCW is nice because it's local and I've got to know a lot of the people there and the crowd is fun. And my opponents, even though they might be a bit tricky sometimes, it is a lot of fun to wrestle them.
It's funny that you were saying about the distance before, being able to like walk to a little. I bet you can't walk anywhere in Florida. You got to drive
No,
everywhere. It must be
and I
nothing
don't drive.
like.
So one time I thought I could walk to the gym because the journey was a 6 minute drive. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just walk. Put it into maps, 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, oof.
How is that possible?
Everything is so far away.
That's crazy.
Obviously, Anthony touched on the no DQ match then. I've only been able to see clips so far, but there was a moment that she kind of poured something out of a bag, and I'm dead curious, what was that? Was it Lego? Was it like candy? What what did she like? You
Indeed, it
think
was
you
a
body slammed her on
chocolate
it?
candy.
Was
Yeah,
it?
so it's very devastating, very life-altering candy.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
must be worse than Lego, that
yeah.
I think.
Sounded more devastating than it was, but if you land on a straight M&M, it might cause some damage.
Oh, that's it,
Uh,
especially a peanut one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If it was Haribo's or something, you'd be fine, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
praying for more Haribos in there.
Absolutely. Bringing it kind of back across the pond a little bit. So you officially hold the title as having the most viewed British wrestling match of all time when you faced Nina Samuels. I think when the post went out, it was at like 4.9 million views. I think it's now nearly 10 million views, which is just insane. Um, how does it feel, kind of knowing that not only have you got that record, but like what was your reaction when you found out?
It's weird because, like, I don't know, it just started slowly happening. At first, it had quite a lot of views. Like, even if you have a match that has like 200,000 views, you're like, oh, that's good. Like,
Yeah.
that's been getting about. And then it just went like up more, and then we were just like kind of finding it funny, and then we were like, oh wait, this is really cool. And also that was on my birthday as well, so that was funny.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, so then
Good
it just
birthday present.
yeah, literally. And then, yeah, I guess it just kept going. And then me and Nina were just like, well, at least of all million matches we've had against each other, one of them has become famous.
So obviously, speaking of Nina, obviously the Nina Samuel show was recently cancelled in progress at the hands of Kanji. So at present we don't know what the future has in store for Nina. But if her career is coming to an end, I just wondered sort of what are your thoughts on everything she's done for women's wrestling in the UK?
Yeah, she is a great opponent. She's great in the locker rooms. She's just obviously when she's in the ring, it's a different thing, a different ball game.
Mm.
But Nina Samuels, the person, is someone who everyone will always want her to still be around, even if she stops wrestling or continues or whatever. Like she's just a joy to have around, very helpful, a kind person. But when you're in the ring with her, oh, you best hope she shows some mercy.
You can feel it the next day. Um, so we also saw you had Isla Dawn's first match after leaving WWE at Burning Heart. Obviously, you two kind of go way back. I'm just curious, what did it mean to be her first match back on the Indies?
Yeah, that was really cool. Like she's my friend in real life, so
Mm,
it's just nice to have those moments with your friends. And also, we we met in NXT UK, and that's
Mm.
where the first time I ever wrestled her. I think I wrestled her twice there, and to then be able to wrestle each other on the Indies is so cool because we've evolved so much since then. I barely knew anything about wrestling at that time, and I'd barely had any matches. So to be able to have that moment with her, like years later in the UK, and just being able to have fun, like that was a cool moment for both of us. So yeah, I always remember that moment.
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to touch briefly on Noam Dar, if I could. Obviously, we saw him make his return to NXT after almost a year off, and obviously we gutted to see he was injured again. So I just wanted to ask, if I could, how his recovery is coming along.
Yeah, it's going along really well, like getting
Yeah.
stronger and being able to do more and more. So it's just looking for that return. We're ready. We're
Mm.
waiting. He's going to be better and stronger than ever. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, awesome.
Coming back for the Heritage Cup. So, so like it's one of these. Like I promise that I'll say this to every guest, but like genuinely, I think you're one of the best women's wrestlers out there at the minute. Um, I I just think you do stuff that other people either can't or just don't do in the ring. But one of the things I wanted to just almost kind of compliment you on was like your selling ability, like in the ring. Like I don't know, like if it's like given your stature or whatever, being one of the smaller competitors, but like you're always like bumping like crazy in all the matches and like getting tossed around everywhere. So I was just like, I'm curious, like, how does it feel almost like playing that underdog? And like, do you find that you, as a result of that, you absorb a lot more punishment than many wrestlers in the ring?
Do you know what's funny? I don't think I absorb more punishment. I just think I make it mean more. And
Yeah.
I believe that that does stand out. And I do believe that's why people can gravitate towards me, or maybe that they like to cheer me as a baby face. And being fighting from underneath and being the underdog is where I'm the most comfortable. And I feel
Yeah.
like wrestling has a lot of stereotypes. And if I'm smaller, then I'm not going to try to be the one lifting everybody and throwing everyone around, because what's the point in
Mm.
that? I think if I get sympathy from selling and get sympathy from people knowing that I'm in pain and wanting me to overcome my opponent, then that's where I'm going to be, and that's where I'm most comfortable, definitely. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, definitely. I mean, some of my favorite wrestlers like Kurt Hennig and like Nick Nemeth and stuff like that. You see, like they're just selling like
Yeah,
all the time and doing crazy stuff. And I don't think I've ever seen like a women's wrestler do it as well. So yeah, just I had to throw it in there because like every time I see your matches, I'm like, God, it's so good.
yeah,
I also
So
want people to believe it. I want people to think, "Oh my God, is she okay?" And I come back and I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah,
But that's what it's about. Like you want people to be in it, because in a business and in a sport where everybody knows everything now, why would you not want people for a second to not know whether that person really meant that, or if there's a some kind of resentment, or if the person really is in pain. Like that's what I think people need to maybe focus more on than all
yeah.
the cool things.
yeah.
No, I couldn't
Was
agree
that was
more.
that one of the reasons why you wanted to face Marina Shafir so much? Because like there was a couple of times in that match I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I do think somebody that is so real and like
Mm,
hardcore and can actually hurt somebody. Like I want to wrestle people like that, because I feel like the two styles work well together. I want to bring the best out of them, and they want to bring the best out of me. And when you get that right and you have an opponent that you can do that with and have that dynamic with, it's just a great match to watch and a great match to be in. That's why I always wanted that. So I
yeah.
hope that at some point we could have a singles match and really like mesh our styles together, because that's where I think you can have the most fun.
No, definitely. I think there's a couple of moments in that where you were making the comeback and doing like the crossbody off the top, and it just, yeah, a singles match needs to happen, I think.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, as Carl mentioned there, about you being able to do things that other people perhaps can't do. We see the videos of your workouts and your agility and strength. which is insanely impressive. And I just wondered sort of what made you start blending both the sort of strength and agility into your training?
Um, I think before I used to train just like maybe more cardio based, and then when I met Noam, he introduced me to CrossFit, and there was something about how you do strength and cardio and a bit of gymnastics, and it's just all these things mixed in together, and I was like, it was made for me. Oh, like that was, I don't know. I feel like every single day I need some kind of physical exertion, and workouts with that mixture of things in it is usually like what I need. I do that at the beginning of the day, and then the rest of the day is like relaxed and you can do what you want and you can have fun and whatever. But I do feel like I need to do something strenuous and something hard, and then it just so happens to help you alongside wrestling. So it wasn't
Yeah.
intentional, but it is intentional, if that makes sense. It's not like I was like, I need to start crossing
Yeah.
a better wrestler. It was just,
Yeah.
it
But it's
just
like for
happened.
your own self kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of went hand in hand. I'll tell you what, though, it just makes me feel so lazy. You know, when I see you just like 1 minute, you're just like, bam, with like the big heavy weight, and the next minute, you're like, I don't know, doing some kind of weight. I'm just like, yeah.
You know,
I've just,
if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's what it is.
yeah, I love that. I need to put away the little brownies and white chocolate cookies or
No,
something.
never put them away.
No.
Um, so we also recently saw you supporting some up and coming talent as well over at Hustle. So obviously, like you doing some kind of like seminar and giving them advice and stuff. I wondered kind of how important it is for you to like be giving back and helping the like newer generations now that's just starting out or coming up.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm still starting out and I'm still coming up. So when people want to ask me something, I just think, really? Don't you want to ask? But that was kind of circumstantial. Like we were all talking, and then we were talking about some gym stuff, and then I was just giving insight on like where to place things in workouts to help you with wrestling, and it just became a bit of like a Q&A, and then yeah, it just went from there. But I don't know. I never put myself in that position because I would never want anyone to think I know what I'm talking about. Because personal to me, I don't know for everybody. You know, I'm just doing what I think is right in life. But I do think it's important to give back to people if they want the information. So if anybody asks me a question, I'm more than happy to answer. I don't know if it's always, factual, but I do my best.
Yeah. That was fair. I say you can only say from your own experience, can
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows, one little bit from your experience could be exactly what someone needs to
you?
hear.
100%, yeah.
There's many people that have told me things that have literally been a godsend, and I've been like, oh, okay, that's exactly what I needed to hear. So you can only try, and if it
Yeah.
works, it works. If it doesn't, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
exactly. So we feel like every podcast or a lot of podcasts, they usually ask for a Mount Rushmore of favorite wrestlers or wrestlers who inspired them. So I'll try and avoid that. But one thing I was curious about is who haven't you wrestled that you're sort of desperate to get in the ring with?
Mm,
Can't
good.
say Marina anymore now because you don't. Well, you
True.
can
That's what
still
tick off
only
the
one
list.
on one, but still.
But now that I know that when you speak it into existence, it happens, even if it's like a year later. Like now I'm going to test that. I'm
Manifest
going to
your
say it
own.
Monet, and I'm going to say it here first, and then
Well,
maybe say it a few more times, and it can happen. But that's what I would like, definitely.
yeah.
I think you have to say it 3 times in the mirror. My name, and then it happens.
To be fair, I think at this point, if you've got a belt, she's probably going to try and come for it. So
That's it.
that's what it is.
Someone
That's how you do it. Yeah, get a
see.
belt somewhere, then she's coming for you. So yeah, I mean, obviously, with everything that you've done this year, like Ring of Honor, NWA, CCW, I guess what's been your kind of like, I can't believe this is my life moment
Um,
or moments if you can't pick the one.
I don't know. I feel like every time I get to do something, I try to think like that because that like you start off wrestling, you don't know what's going to happen, and then like the NXT UK thing happened, and then I moved over here, and then I'm like doing Ring of Honor, and I just think I have to think every moment's like that because it all adds up to this. So I
Yeah.
just every time I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I've done that. Or I can't believe I wrestled in this state for the first time, or I can't believe that I wrestled this person that I really wanted to wrestle when it's finally happened. So I just try to think of everything like that. Otherwise, you try to move on to the next thing too quickly, and you have to appreciate it all. Like I have like this little like book where I write every match that I've had, every person that I've wrestled since I came back in 2023, every opponent, the promotion, and I just always have to write something good about it. So I just remind myself that everything, this is what you wanted to do, you get to do it. So appreciate it and don't forget and don't move on to the next thing. Sit and appreciate this before you move on to the next one.
Do you know what? I love that. People don't do that enough, do
Yeah.
they? As you say, they're always chasing the biggest, the best thing, like what's next. But like to actually reflect on what you've done, I think I like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Appreciate every moment. I like it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, lastly from us, obviously it's safe to say you've had a hell of a year so far. So just wondered what would be the cherry on top, I suppose, for 2025?
Cherry on top. Ooh. But to be able to go home at Christmas and have some matches with my friends from home and also go to Lidl. That would be my cherry.
I'm curious, actually, being in the States, like, do you celebrate Thanksgiving and stuff while you're over there, or is it just like,
I think we do like some kind of resemblance of it, but not really like, well, because I have a lot of friends from the UK that I hang around with. So I hang around with like Lyra and Isla, and we have our own little UK crew. So we do tend to do the things, but we do it in our own home way.
So you have to take it at Christmas like it's meant to
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, obviously you mentioned cherry on the top for 2025. I guess, is there anything, we talk about manifestations, Mercedes money. Is there anything that you kind of 2026 is maybe on that kind of bucket list, if you will?
Well, on the bucket list, just wrestle more, because I feel like when I first moved here, I was almost feeling, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to really go anywhere or do anything, and I'm from a different country and people don't really know me, and it was hard to get the ball rolling with bookings and wrestling in different places. I feel like this year's that's improved, and I just want that to keep happening next year, and I just want to keep wrestling in new places and new people and just keep it on enjoying it, because the most important thing is to enjoy it, because what's the point? Nobody put a gun to our head to do this, so there's no point seeing it as a chore or seeing it as hard work. We get to do it, and I get to not have to sit at a desk and do a job that I don't want to do. So I have to be mindful, appreciate that, and I just want that feeling and that acknowledgement to keep going on into next year.
Yeah, I think that's going to be undeniable. I think you're a hell of a year you've had so far, and I think it's probably just the start of an even better year next year. So yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. And as we say, like, I love watching your stuff. Before we let you go, if anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure they do, but just let them know how they can obviously keep up to date with yourself and everything you've got going on.
You can follow me on X and on Instagram at the Aleah James. I also have TikTok with the same handle, but I don't really use it. But I'll try.
Amazing. Aleah, thank you so much for taking the time. And yeah, just can't wait to see what else is in store for you for the rest of the year and beyond.
Thank you.
A to the K. A to the K.
To the K.